Well, indeed, we spoke about the sports bill that is now headed to the parliament. And of course, we're talking about some of the things that have been seen as gaps from the inception of the Sports Act 2013. And Kenyans have been saying that the law falls short of the demands of the reality of the game today. So some of the things that have been discussed just recently on Friday last week, the Minister for Sport, the CS Sports, Salim Mvurya, received the document that is proposed to change the spectrum of sport in this country altogether. Some of the highlights include enhanced governance and regulation of sport in the country, where there is a proposed sports regulatory authority to improve compliance, strengthen governance in federations, and help curb issues of issues like match fixing. Now, the question of governance and what is coming up now is an office that has not been there before, coming to make sure that there is a regulator, how sports federations operate, and governance issues. You know, the way you have NTSA, for example, and you have a regulator in the industry of transport, for example, that is what is expected to be happening. A firm regulator in the field of sport is one of the highlights of the bill. Again, it is talking about integration of education within the CBE arrangement, that framework, so that sport then can find a way that the Ministry of Sports and the regulatory authority that we talked about has a way of linking what learners are learning, especially those who are following the pathway of sport. Remember, nowadays through the CBE, there are different pathways, and now this one wants to integrate the sport at pathway into this, so that we have a very clear law saying what should happen with those taking that pathway. Again, the question of athlete welfare and integrity, that is what the lady who is now running at around Talanta, is talking about. And the bill again has a lot of information concerning how the athlete should be the focus when it comes to all matter sports in the country, including how they are protected, their rights. Sometimes we have had athletes complaining that maybe they have not been given justice when it comes to these things like doping and all that. And this one is supposed to be addressed under this highlight. Again, this bill that you also been invited to participate in, already published on the website of the Ministry of Sport, you can find it there. Again, talks about infrastructure management. Just the other day before Chan, it was difficult, but now we're talking about, even after building the stadium and all those, what do you do with them when the main tournaments are done? How do you make sure that all the counties across the country have the suitable infrastructure for athlete development? Is again something that is discussed at length as proposed in the bill. Then the question of course, commercialization, so that the sport in this country for many years has been looked at as something recreational. Well, in other countries, especially in the north, global north, then it is a serious commercial affair. So again, the way of commercializing and making sure that we are going to get revenue and making it a money industry is again highlighted there. A lot of details concerning the same is a main pillar in the bill. Another one is financial incentive for athletes. We saw what happened during Chan. The president, of course, and even after the Olympics and the World Championships, athletes have been getting money. But we want, the bill envisages a situation where there is going to be a concrete way, a very elaborate way of paying these athletes within a certain frame of time, and of course, being also clear about which competitions attract what, which wins attract what, is going to be here, again, as far as the welfare of the athletes is concerned. Note that these reforms or this bill is supposed to take the place of the 2013 Sports Act, which has been there since then. And now, as we speak, after the handover of the proposed law to the Cabinet Secretary, it is moving to the Parliament. There's going to be public participation. And upon the completion of all the stages that are supposed to be, then this could be the game changer in sport. And like Swila mentioned earlier, the PS Sports, Elijah Mwangi, is here, and I want to believe he'll be shedding more light on the same. Swila?
Thank you. Jacob is here there in Studio B at the touchscreen, giving us about